So just to go through, clients of new properties, while they're inspecting their homes, they have a DLP. So do you find people spend a lot of money on properties?
Yeah.
And you know, the inspection, it is a service, it is a cost, but the cost assessment and the analysis of spending a little bit more, putting a bit more into their investment, what's kind of the cost analysis? What can you save them?
It's actually something that we try to, and people, they get it right away because it's a very simple math. I actually, if we were talking with somebody yesterday, you know, the cost of a typical cost, of course it differs from one company to the other, or depending on the size of the property and so on. But on average, you're talking about 0.1% cost compared to the cost of the property. So if you're buying a property, very quick example, for 3 million, let's say, rough small townhouse somewhere, you probably pay around 3,000 dirham in order to get it inspected. Get it inspected, get this peace of mind that you're moving into a property. First of all, it's safe. Second, which people doesn't also get until we explain it to them. Because a lot of people would say, you know what, it's a brand new property, I have DLP, I have warranty, basically.
I don't need you,
I don't need
to fix.
You. Yeah. That's great. So there's two answers to this. One is you need to make sure that it's safe for the occupants. That's what we focus on. Safe for the occupants, we find a lot of things related to electrical safety hazards. And I'm talking stuff that can be repaired for, you know, few dirhams here and there. But it's very important.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about, you know, we check all for instance, one of the things that we do, we check all the electrical outlets in the property. Many times you find reverse wiring, for instance, where the electrician, because it's a workmanship, sometimes, you know, and it's a mass production of villas or properties or a big, you know, apartment building that have 300 units or whatever. So we see that a lot. So they miss connecting the ground, missing ground, or reverse wiring, or
it could cause fire hazards in the properties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The short circuit, that's where we hear about, you know, fire have, you know, happened due to electrical whatever.
Yeah.
And people never think about, what do you mean electrical, what happened? That's exactly what. So we check that, but we also, the most important part which people miss is, yes, you have DLP, you have warranty, but do you want to move in to your property, move your furniture, move your family, and then you discover that the kitchen ceiling is leaking, so you get 4 or 5 guys knocking in your ceiling, breaking walls, screwing up your furniture, inconvenience.
The mess, the annoyance, yeah.
So that's a big portion of it. Yes, you have a warranty, but the convenience, it's worth.
It's peace of mind.
It's a peace of mind.
Yeah, as you say, for 1%, when you've spent so much money on the value of a property.
It's a fraction of the cost. And as I said, people, when we start to explain it the way I'm saying it now, they realize that it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
But that's
why would I not?
And actually, it's funny. When we first came here, you know, 3 years ago or whatever. We were originally like head offices in Canada, in Mississauga, in Ontario. And in Canada or North America in general, the landscape of inspection is completely different than here, because 95% of our business in North America is for resale home. Resale home meaning it's like buying a used car.
There's less new properties, primary sales.
It's a property changing. That you know, has been occupied for 30 years. So it goes without saying, it's not mandatory service, but with any, as I mentioned, probably more than 95% of anybody giving an offer to purchase, putting an offer on a property, it has to go with conditional upon inspection, and usually unfinanced if they are looking for mortgages or whatever. So that's very common. It's people, you know.
This is in Canada.
In Canada and the US, North America, and not sure about Europe.
It's a term that they would not buy.
It's a term, as I said. It's not an obligation. It's not mandatory by any, you know, government or anything. Banks sometimes they ask for it if the house is I think more than 20 years old or something like that. But it just people, it's in the brain of people. I have to do inspection. I have to know what I'm buying. As I said, I always give the metaphor of buying a used car. When you buy a used car, you send it to the mechanics to inspect the car, right? Which is very normal. But in this part of the world, North America, we don't get a lot of businesses, probably 2-3% of pre-handover directly from the developer. Because when you're getting it direct from the developer, usually the workmanship there is at a little bit higher standard.
It's not as
and therefore you will not find any issues. And yes, you also have DLPs. It will cover in case, but it will be very slim chances that you will find something. And I personally bought new properties before. I've tried.
Can't find any faults.
You won't find any fault.
Is there any other differences as we're talking between sort of the MENA region and North America, Canada, New Zealand that you worked in? Other than this, is there any other sort of differences in that whole process?
From as an overall, no, I think it's the awareness. That's why when we first came here, it took us a lot of time to do awareness building.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not. I wouldn't call it marketing effort, because you're not marketing your services versus other. No, you're actually trying to raise the awareness of people of why do you need property inspection. This mentality, that's why most of our customer base, especially in the beginning, was Western people coming from North America, from Europe, South Africa. They're used to that. So for them, it's a no-brainer. I'm buying a property, I have to inspect it. So that's the main, I think, difference between the Western world, I would say, and the Middle East in general. I'm not talking UAE, but the whole Middle East, including North Africa, including Egypt, where we have a branch as well. Egypt is even way behind, because here we have a lot of expats, so they come with the knowledge. In Egypt, as you know, it's a very organic, like people, all Egyptians, so they are not exposed. So a lot of people, you tell them property inspection, what do you mean inspect? I'm a pretty experienced guy. I'll check it myself. They don't understand the amount of expertise, like our engineers go through a very exhaustive to be licensed. If I'm talking about proper property inspection companies, it's a study it takes 1 year to get licensed as CPI, Certified Property Inspector, from a reputable association like Internachi that I mentioned, for instance. So.
A question that I always think of, because we have our property management team in snagging, you only get 1 hour to do these snagging. How long do you need? Do you just take your time and go, we're not moving until we get this finished? Yeah,
exactly. So basically, when developer tell the purchaser that your appointment for pre-handover is on so and so date from 9 to 10, for instance. What people also don't understand is that this, in case that you're not using a third-party inspector, because they assign one of their engineer or handover rep. So basically, this is the orientation. It's actually orientation. It's not pre-handover inspection or not proper inspection, meaning that we will get you one of our rep to go through the property, and basically it's the cosmetic. So the purchaser will tell them, you know what, this is scratch, they note it down on a piece of paper or whatever. Once they tell them that we have a third-party inspector, most of the, and I'm saying most deliberately because there's one, without mentioning name, one large developer in the UAE that doesn't do this. It's different, but everybody else would just basically come with their rep, open the door, take the buyer into whatever, and then they leave us if we want to spend the overnight.
They'll leave you there as long as you need.
As long as you will send them the report, within a certain, usually they give you, 3 days. We issue the report on the same day anyway, or maximum 24 hours. So it's more than enough, but usually they give you 3 days to give them back the report. Much easier for them, and it goes very smoothly. And as I said, it's much more extensive than having their handover rep. Usually they are not really trained to be property inspection. They don't have the proper tools. So it's a whole different type of check on that.